Good morning. Thank you. Does it seem like just yesterday you were starting the process of thinking about where you were going to college and maybe doing a few visits, and now you're here? Is it incredible? Did it go fast? Yes. All right. So you're starting college and you're starting an important process today. And instead of a whole lot of blah, 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 we're going to do kind of rubber meets the road stuff today and get you started on getting into actual classes for fall. So hopefully that's something you feel really good about. So we have a lot of help for you this afternoon and tomorrow to facilitate that process. But for now, we want to help you build an understanding of the structure of the curriculum, what you need to take, and why. So welcome once again to Creighton University's Heider College of Business. Thank you so much for choosing us. We're very flattered and honored. We love our students. We try very hard to take care of you as individuals. So above all, never panic about anything, all right? Because we are here to help, and there is somebody who can answer your questions and help you. And I'm going to introduce Ms. Charisse Williams now, who's one of those people who's great at that sort of thing. So,
not yet, because you're going to talk about the Excel class first.
oh, now you want me to do that now?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, improvise if all else fails.
There we go.
Oh, all right. So, after you leave Creighton today, you go home and you get into what I call the funk zone, because you're kind of like 100 miles an hour getting my classes, and then you go, and the brakes go on, and you wait and wait and wait for school to start. So apart from working and going to camp and riding your bicycle, what can you do that helps you be really, really ready for your classes at Creighton this fall? You can work on your Excel spreadsheet skills. So Excel training for all Heider College of Business students is available online through a company called My Educator. We pay for it, you don't. What you need to do is simply send a note from your Creighton email address to Angie Wayman. Angie is a wonderful administrative assistant up on the 4th floor who's very helpful with registration and other things. But she's organizing the process of getting you a passcode to use the Excel training modules. So make a note, simply send an email to Angie Wayman saying, I want to work on Excel. She will send you your passcode. It'll take about 2 days probably for the company to enroll you, but it's 14 modules of increasing difficulty, skill level wise in Excel. We'd like you to work through about 1 through 5. Why? Well, when you get into your RSP class in the fall, you're going to be doing a budget assignment, a personal budget assignment, some research on jobs that come out of business education, the process of business education. What might I do? What might I make? How far will my money go? So you'll be doing that assignment using Excel, and then you'll soon be in Accounting 201, where you have to use Excel pretty extensively to do your assignments, okay? So we want you to work through 1 through 5. Simple, just email Angie and say, I want a code so I can start practicing my Excel. That's something you can do between now and when your classes start. All right, so is that it for me?
Yes.
Okay, turn it over.
Okay, thank you. So this is our first summer preview. Things are always a little bit rough for me in the first preview. This is my dress rehearsal. So I'm going to talk about fall registration, and all of you should have received an email to your Creighton email account by now. It was sent, I think, the 30th or the 31st. So if you haven't checked your Creighton email account, that's a big thing that we want you to begin doing if you have not done so. Please begin to check your Creighton email account at least a couple times a week. That's going to be the official communication for the school and your advisors. If you have problems with any of that accessing, whether your net ID or password or anything like that, please get that taken care of while you're here today. Also, before I go any further, you have a packet of information here. with a lot of useful tips. So in your Academics 101 flyer here, which is underneath the PowerPoint presentation, there's some tips on how to activate your email, just kind of general notes on fall registration, and a few other resources, okay? All right, so here is our first semester registration website. The first thing you need to do is to decide which curriculum you're going to do, right? So that's the first 5 steps of registration. So after we meet here today, this is going to be like a fire hose, you guys. There's no way for me to give you the information easy. It's just hang on, buckle up and hang on, all right? So after this session here, that's going to be like a boot camp overview of registration. I think you have lunch, and then you'll meet with your advisors individually. So you could meet with your advisor. You might meet with Dr. Wells or any other faculty advisor who's here. We have 4 summer preview sessions, so advisors or everybody's kind of taking a turn. So you may meet with your actual RSP 103 advisor today, or you just may meet with another faculty member to discuss your fall classes. But the first thing you really need to decide is which curriculum you're going to pursue, okay? So real quick, most of you have probably heard this, but this is what it comes down to. You are a Heider College of Business student. Don't listen to what anyone else tells you. Do not listen to your arts and science or nursing friends that are here today. You are a Creighton University student in the Heider College of Business, so your requirements are going to be a little bit different than maybe the person sitting next to you, but different than your arts and science friends that you'll meet today. Okay, so as a business student, you have 3 curriculum to choose from. Door number 1, pre-health sciences. Pre-health science, BSBA, is for students that think they want to go on to medical school, dental school, pharmacy school, OT, PT. Those are for my students whose heart belongs in science, but their brain belongs in business. So these students will earn a BSBA, a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration, with a business major and the pre-health track. So these students take a business curriculum, but also take all those fun science classes like Orgo 1, Physics, Chem 1, Chem 2, Bio, all of that. So that's a special curriculum. Door number 2, we may have some students who are doing the 3-3 pre-law program. 3-3 pre-law means you do 3 years of undergraduate studies here at Creighton. You start your first year or your 4th year at the law school here right across the street from us at the mall, and you will earn your BSBA degree after completing your 4 years, which will include your first year at the law school. Then 2 more years you earn your JD. So that is the 3-3 law program. Door number 3, which is what most students choose to do, is a general BSBA curriculum. That means I'm not even really sure what I want to major in. I just know I want to do something in business. Maybe I want to do accounting. Maybe I want to do marketing. Maybe I've got it all figured out. But that just means BSBA means you're just a plain old regular business student. Okay? There's a lot of similarities with these different tracks. Some of them are more fluid. But for instance, a business student BSBA regular has a science requirement. So you may take something like astronomy or atmospheric science as opposed to a pre-health business student who's going to take like chemistry and biology and all those other kinds of classes. Okay, so if you have your laptop or something, you can definitely follow along. More information on your first semester, but we're going to talk about first semester courses. We've got strongly preferred, we've got recommendations on preferred classes, and then optional courses. Okay, so real quick, every student takes a math class. Most students are going to do Math 201 or Math 141. Almost every Heider business student will take a math class in that first semester. This is a review of the math classes and your options. We have the opportunity for students to take a waiver exam for Math 201, Applied Math. So the requirement is a calculus, which is probably Math 141 for most students, or Math 201. Whichever one you don't take in fall, you take the other one in spring. If you have AP credit or dual enrollment and all that stuff, you can figure that out, but that means that you would be, the AP calc credit would count for your calculus, and you'd probably be a student to take the Math 201. So here's information on the math courses. The second required course is almost everyone's going to take philosophy or theology. Every freshman at Creighton University will take either philosophical ideas or Christian tradition. Whichever one you don't take in fall, you take the other one in spring. Then we have preferred courses, all right? Preferred courses just means here's something that you may take in your first semester. This is probably basic information and good suggestions. We have something called critical issues in human inquiry. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this and the actual function of registration shortly. In the meantime, critical issues in human inquiry is basically a speech class. Lots of different areas on campus offer a critical issues. So the education department has a class called Social Justice and Education. The communications department has a class called Communicating Among Cultures. Social work offers a class on I think women in literature throughout the world. Okay, so different departments offer a critical issues. It's about what you want to give your speeches on, and it comes with a 1 credit online speech component. So it's like the lecture and then the online lab, because the way we present information is changing. So you will be presenting or giving your speeches to the computer. All right, that's critical issues. Microeconomics might be a class you'd like to take. We have a lot of seats in our microecon class. If you're interested to take a business class in your first semester, this is going to be the one to take. Most students will take microeconomics in the first semester, but you don't have to. If you don't take it in fall, you take it in spring. But if you're anxious and you want to get started, go ahead and do econ. Then we have optional courses to fill out your schedule. You might want to take a science. I talked a little bit about science. We have an understanding social science requirement. Most of our students will take Psych 201, Introduction to Psychology, to fulfill that understanding social science requirement. Psych 201 is also a standalone requirement, so it's like a double dip. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Composition may be a first class that you'd like to take. Humanities, art, music, theater, or dance. I might have some students that want to do a dance minor or a minor in art history. And then we have our language requirement that talks a little bit more about that here. In the Heider College of Business, you don't have to take a language. You may choose to take a language, but you don't have to. Some students take a language just because. Some students take a language because they want to minor in a language. The only students that have to take a language are students who plan to major in international business. If you plan to major in international business, then you should take a language class in the fall. If you don't know más español, then don't take it. No Spanish for you. Or French. Yes. Keep it close. Okay, thank you. Placement exam. There's a placement exam online for the language class. We want to make sure that you place in the correct class. So I may have had 4 years of Spanish and be terrible. Allison may have had 4 years of Spanish and be almost fluent. So the placement exam that you can take online anytime you want will tell you which class you place in or which class you should register for. So if you're one of those students that wants to take a language in the first semester, you need to take the placement exam today so that you know tomorrow what you should register for. And even if you take the exam and say, I'm not going to take a language, that's okay. There's no harm or foul, nothing goes on your academic record. This is just so that we place you or you register for the correct class. Testing out, that would mean if you're bilingual or fluent. Not that I've been taking Spanish since 7th grade. That would just mean, again, unless you're fluent and can test out with a competency exam, you're still responsible for the requirement. Lastly, we have what we call unrestricted electives. That's anything of your choice. So if I have any students in here that want to minor in, let's see, psychology, Psych 201 would be a good first class to take. Maybe I have someone that wants to minor in political science. You could take like Poli-Sci 121 as an unrestricted elective. Your unrestricted electives belong to you. That's free choice. Usually I tell students to hold off on that unless you really have a plan and you know you want to minor in sustainability, or you know you want to minor in X, okay? Unrestricted electives are fun to save for later, or maybe you want to double major in a business area, so save those for that too. Okay, that's kind of the general overview of the first semester. Let's talk about the actual function and actual registration piece. Okay, so here is the nest. The nest is nearly every student transaction. The nest. How do you like that? Somebody's going to win a trivia question on that. Okay, so here's how you log in. I'm going to log in as a fake student because I would be a faculty or staff person, so it's going to look a little bit different. So hang on one sec. And your password. If you have not logged into the Nest, which I'm thinking most of you probably have, you should definitely visit the Nest before tomorrow. All right, everyone should have a net ID and a password. For registration, we're going to go to Student Services, Registration. We're going to look up classes to add. You only register for one semester at a time. So make sure that when you go to register, you choose Fall 18, because we're only talking about fall. So here is your search. I'm actually logged on to the Nest as Billy Blue Jay. That's the name of our person. Okay, so Billy's going to go register, and let's see, Assistant Dean Williams said that I need to take philosophical ideas. Okay, anytime I use fancy words like philosophical ideas or Christian tradition, you will have to do what we call an attribute search. All right, roll with me. In your packets, you have some BSBA checklists. I want you to decide which checklist you think you're going to use. And in this upper right-hand corner here, under foundation classes, you want to kind of get these foundation classes done by sophomore year. So you're going to choose a few from this section up here, right? So for the foundation classes, these are all classes I mentioned here just a little bit ago. Contemporary composition, we got critical issues plus Com 101. There's the math class we're going to talk about, but right now I'm looking at philosophical ideas and Christian tradition. Almost every one sheet should be the same for that foundations. So there's these little tiny numbers there. You see that number 3 and the number 4 next to those? Down here in the lower left-hand corner is my little code for attribute search, all right? So I'm going to look up philosophical ideas because Cherie said that might be a course I could look up. So under attribute search, she's got Magis Common Core, Phil Ideas. So boom, there it is, attribute type, fancy words. All right, so this is what the live registration field looks like, okay? It probably won't, I don't know if it's gonna look like this for you guys today or not. I don't know if you'll have those boxes because it's not quite time to register yet. But this is pretty much what your sheet's going to look like. If it doesn't look like that now, the little boxes will have like an SR. That means that students can register for those classes. The C means that that section is closed. Okay? So students, you get to pick, do you want Philosophy 110A, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:25 to 9:15? Or, gosh, Charisse, I would rather take Philosophy 118A, Philosophical Ideas, Wisdom, Tuesday, Thursdays, 9:30 to 10:45. I wish my pointer was working here, but I don't. Ooh, here we go. Here's my pointer. Now I got toys, I got my glasses, I got microphones, I'm sensory overload. Okay, so there you go. So, let's talk about this fancy word stuff again, okay? So, if I say take Eco 203, I'm going to show you how to look up Eco 203. You just look up the subject, Eco 203. If I tell you to take Math 141, you look up Math 141. There's nothing fancy about that. But our arts and science friends up the hill have fancy classes with fancy words. So you can see that I can't just say, hey, take Philosophy 110. And the reason for that is, look, you have a choice. Magis, more choices. All right? So you get to choose. But any of these classes will fulfill your philosophical ideas requirement. Okay? And then to register, all I'm going to have to do is be like, boom, check my box and register. Oh, I need a pin, which you'll get today. Okay, so you have a login for the nest, but you also have a registration pin number. You will receive a registration pin number every semester. That's how we make sure that you visit with your advisor. Okay, so you can see, look, Billy Blue already has some classes that he registered for. I just added this Philosophy 110. It's pretty easy to add, drop, and make your changes. We'll do one more though. Let's drop, see if we could drop everything. Okay. So, now I'm back to my RSP. Everyone in here is registered in an RSP. You'll have to register your classes around your RSP. Well, gosh, Cherise, how do I know what day and time my RSP meets? Well, we can go here, go to registration. Let's do my class by day and time. There we go. So Billy Blue's class meets, RSP class meets Wednesdays 8:25 to 9:15. All right, let's go back and look up some more classes. Add drop, let's do class search. Okay, let's do an easy one. Let's do Math 201. Applied Math. Math 201 and Math 141 are both prerequisites for business statistics. Business statistics is a prerequisite for finance. So you'll be advised throughout your time at Creighton and by a Heider College of Business faculty member to take some business and some Magis core. That's how you balance. Don't say, I'm just going to take all my Magis core and then save my business classes, because you'll be off. You need a little business, you need a little liberal arts. You need a little business, you need a little liberal arts. So here's all your economics sections you can choose from. It's up to you, students, to choose which section you want. You'll notice the classes, the caps are really weird on these classes. Part of it is we have some sections that are restricted. We have some sections that we want it to be balanced, obviously. So here's your Math 201. Hang on, I think I just did math and forgot to put 201 in there. Let's just do 201. All right. There's all your Math 201 sections. Now, we know Billy has RSP Wednesday mornings at 8:25. So what happens if Billy tries to take this class? Uh-oh, time conflict. He has a restriction, time conflict. You guys see that? So let's go back and see if we can add another one, and then we'll move on from here. Class search. Let's do my math again. Now, part of what you're going to do today is to work on building your schedule so that you don't have to look these up individually like I am every time. But I'm a morning math person. I know I'd be through with that Tuesday, Thursday, 3:30. Forget about it. Okay, here we go. Math 201. That's how easy it is to register. Okay? Now, the purpose of your meeting with your advisor, you know how I just kind of fire hosed you guys with an overview of English composition, choose a math class, choose philosophy or theology, maybe you want to take a science. On the last sheet of your attachment, I'm a visual person and I need all sorts of visual aids. So this is an example of another resource you'll have and you'll receive here to help you plan your schedule. So the purpose of today with the advisor is to get an overview of what I should take. Well, gosh, I think I'm going to have dual enrollment for this. I just finished pre-calc, so I think I'm going to just keep going with calc and do the Math 141. Quick explanation on calc, folks. How am I doing on time, James? Okay. Math 141 is business calculus, applied calc. Okay, that's what most business students take. We have another calculus called Math 231, calc for the biological sciences. So those pre-health business students, you guys might want to take Math 231, which is calc for the science students, for biological science students. Door number 3, we have like calculus, real calculus I call it, Math 245, just plain old calculus. Math 245 might be for some of my students who want a minor in math. Math 245 might be for my hardcore econ majors. Math 245 again is usually for like a physics minor or major or something like that. So if you are a student who finished pre-calc, or if you are a student who just took calc and just missed that AP exam score, I probably would tell you to do Math 141. That's applied calculus. That's what most students take. My economics professors would say, Charisse, tell the students to take Math 245. They need more math. I'm trying to get kids past. They can take calculus later. Let them warm up with business calculus. Okay. All right, folks, we got about 20 minutes in here. Let's see what else I got to say. Does anybody have any questions? I'm sure everyone understands everything, and I have no questions. We'll have time for questions later, too. Yes? Okay, so the question is, what do I do if I'm expecting AP credit or I took AP credit and I don't know the results of my score yet? I'm a gambling woman and I tell you to avoid whatever you think you may have taken. Like, I took that calc test. I don't know if I'm going to get that score or not. I tell you to take Math 201. Or, I took the test for psychology. Don't take psychology. I took a test for a language. Well, let's take the placement exam and see where you go. Now, for those of you who took English Lang, I think there's an English comp and an English Lang or something like that for AP credits. I don't know, AP Lit and AP Composition. Guess what? You don't get credit for composition or literature. Creighton does not give AP credit for AP Comp or AP Lit. You could get non-restrictive elective credit. That means that the 3 credits will be accepted, but you still have to take composition here. Dual enrollment. Gosh, Charisse, I took English composition at, Cal State Northridge. How do I know if it's going to transfer in or not? It probably will, but I'll tell you what, avoid it. Don't take it. If you think you're going to get credit for it, don't take it. That's the best advice I have. When in doubt, don't take it. I got to find something that rhymes, though. I don't have anything with that. Okay. Any more questions? That's great. That was a very good question. Thanks. Okay, let's look at this fabulous site some more that I did, by the way, so I know it's fabulous. I have some frequently asked questions. Oh, sample schedules. Oh boy, that's really small. But I think everyone in their packet has some sample schedules, okay? And for those of you who have already been to visit Creighton and have heard my speech, one of the things I like to tell you is that the curriculum is like a buffet. It's a buffet. It's a Magis buffet of choices and more. So, everybody takes a scoop of math. I'm going to take a scoop of Math 201. Allison's going to take a scoop of Math 141. I'm going to take a scoop of philosophical ideas. Allison's going to take a scoop of Christian tradition. And then the thing about it is, we both have a scoop of philosophy or theology. So I got the spinach salad. Allison went for the pasta. All right? Same thing with math. We both have a scoop of math, but I took the roast beef. Allison took the chicken. All right? So everybody's plate is going to be a little bit different at the end of the buffet. Don't go back and get the pasta salad because you got your scoop of salad. Don't go back and take another scoop of math because you already got your scoop of math. So everybody's curriculum's probably going to be a little different, similar but the same, okay? Also, like Dr. Wells said in the beginning, like stay calm and register on. You cannot mess up your college career in your first semester. Number one, it's your first semester. Number two, if you stick to the general formula and you listen to what your advisor advises you to do, and your schedule looks something like all of these different combinations of schedule that you can choose from, you'll be just fine. So come next semester, Allison and I are going to go to the buffet again, only I'm going to take a scoop of the math, and she's going to, math 141, and she's going to take a scoop of the math 201. Okay? All right. Any questions, guys, so far? I should have some canned questions here ready. We've got frequently asked questions. Let me show you this, because this is pretty cool, I think. Color coding. I'm into color coding. Okay. Ignore the gray stuff completely. Let's say that. Ignore the gray stuff completely. You'll see we have required courses, preferred courses, optional courses. So, required courses. Or required, so RSP, there you go. RSP is required. Every person in the Heider College of Business and every person on campus is going to take RSP. That's the required course. Then we have what we called preferred courses. So this is a P on its own, purple. That's the critical issues. Oh, we got to look that one up. That's what I got to do. Choose a P1 or P2. Look the green. So there's the math. Choose a P1 or P2, philosophy or theology. And then you have all these optional courses that you can choose. Okay? The yellow I just think is because it's the only business class, and that's how we roll. I don't know why I did yellow. Oh, it's a P. It's preferred. It's preferred. But you don't have to take it if you don't want to. But it's a good first business course to take. All these options. It's going to be hard to make decisions. Okay, let's do one more class lookup, and then we're going to open it up for questions. Class search. All right, so Charisse used fancy words again. I said critical issues in human inquiry. Remember that little code here on your box? So down here, critical issues has a little number 2 next to it, right? Fancy words means attribute search. So let's do an attribute search for critical issues, section search. Okay, so remember I said a lot of departments on campus offer a critical issues. Anthropology, art history, classic and Near Eastern studies, communications, literature and life, poverty and the novel, history. Now, the thing about this one is, I told you about the matching COM 101 lecture and lab. So here is the lecture, History 177 lecture, and here is the COM 101 that matches it. So that is specific to that section. So I check my box. I'm going to add it to my worksheet, like Amazon, and then I'm going to add the 101. You have to do these together. If they have a lab, you have to register for the lab and the lecture together. And then we register. There we go. Okay. So just remember, depending on what you want to take, if it's not Math 141 or Math 201 or Eco 203, chances are you'll have to do one of these attribute search to see all of the choices you have. Okay. Questions, guys. We got about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. I know there should be some questions. Oh, hand. Okay, so the question is, do students have to take Math 141, business calculus, before they take Math 201, applied math? No, you don't. The numbers, there's no method to the madness of the numbers. Usually if you've had calculus or you're coming out of pre-calc, it makes sense for you to do the Math 141 business calc. If you're worried about your math skills and maybe you just went to trig, but maybe the ACT, you struggled with the quant stuff, I probably would tell you to take Math 201 first. But the cool thing is, on this site, we've got all kinds of examples of what you review in Math 201. There's a sample final exam and chapter reviews for Math 201. And all those resources are here on that site. But it does not matter which math class you take first. If you're a student that thinks you AP'd in calc, take Math 201 first. If you don't, then when you find out your score and it turns out you didn't get the AP in calc, then you take calc in spring. Yes?
What if a student gets AP credit for calculus and tests out of math?
Then I probably tell you to definitely take econ. And depending on how many other credits you're bringing in and you need classes, you're probably going to have to take accounting 201 too. I'll have some students in here who will have either dual enrollment credit for a lot of the first semester classes or AP credit for a lot of first semester classes. We will make sure you get a schedule. It may be a little, it may not be a typical first semester freshman schedule, but some students in here will take accounting 201 in the fall. Accounting requires usually, I think, 15 credits of college credit. We don't want you to take accounting in the first semester unless you have to. And some people are like, ooh, accounting, I can't wait to get to it. Yeah, we know. But accounting is a lot of work. It's a big time commitment. So we want you to do some calisthenics before you jump into that accounting class. That's like our Chem 1 for business is accounting 201. Yes? How many people are in the RSP 103 classes? That's a great question. Right now, I think we have about 334 incoming freshmen. Is that true? 333, excuse me, I knew someone would know the right answer. Most sections are in between 16 to 18 students. My section, the section has, the dean's section is a little bit bigger. I think there's 35 dean's fellows, and there's a couple, and then there's two other special sections, business research fellows, but I think they're about 15 apiece. But for the most part, your RSP is going to be anywhere between 15 and 17 students. There's still a lot of moving pieces because we have some students who are transferring into arts and sciences or transferring out of arts and sciences into business. Lot of moving parts with how this all works. Usually I just throw it up and see where it lands and then pick up the pieces whenever we need to. And your RSP advisor, so your teacher, your professor who's going to lead your RSP, will be your faculty advisor for the first 2 years until you declare your major. Because of the Common Business Core and the Common Magis Core, any professor will be able to advise you in your first couple years. Remember when I was talking about those building blocks? You take some accounting, you do some Magis, you take some business, you take some Magis. Any advisor in the Heider College of Business can help you with those building block classes. But then when you take finance, or then when you take marketing, or maybe even accounting or econ, if you know your major right away, more power to you. You can declare. Typically, business students don't declare until maybe first semester junior year or rising sophomore year, only because if you take those classes a little bit at a time, by the time you get to your first semester junior year is when you've had all those foundation classes in business. and you know as much as what you do want to do as much as what you don't want to do. If you take accounting and you're like, oh, I'm good, that's okay. It'll be the best accounting class you've ever taken, and because of our accreditation, we know that you have had enough accounting to get you through until you go into the real world and have to learn some more. But each foundation classes, because of our accreditation, is making sure that you have some key learning goals and takeaways in those different courses. If you only take one, it has to be a good one. Let's see. Let's go through some of my frequently asked questions. We kind of talked about the math some. This is a good overview of the math classes and what to expect. What if I'm interested in completing the pre-health sciences requirements while earning my degree in business? This talks about that option. Now these science classes are no joke. Everybody knows that. Any college level science class is no joke. Unless you are really wanting to go on to a professional school, think really long and hard if you want to take chemistry and biology. If you want to do chemistry or biology in the first semester, and if you did not score at least a 24 on your ACT, you will either have to take Chemistry 105, which is an introductory chemistry course, or take this review class. So the reason we have these review classes over summer, especially for this one, is because if your ACT was not at least a 24 on the math, you will not do well in this class. So that's kind of the initial, test is, oh my gosh, I totally love chemistry in high school, Cherise. I really like my teacher. I really want to take chemistry. No, you will not take chemistry for those reasons. Yeah, trust me. I have this crystal ball, and sometimes it works pretty well. So there's, again, those stop gaps, those prerequisites that we hope will stop the upsets in advance. What if my RSP advisor doesn't contact me? You guys, again, will all meet with an advisor here shortly. This talks about dual enrollment. I'm going to be creamed with dual enrollment in my office, so I'm not really officially evaluating until July. But if you think you're going to get dual enrollment, then avoid it. If you took English composition, don't take English composition. If you took microeconomics at another school, don't take microeconomics again. What will happen is your record will be adjusted, and then you have to decline the credit. If you want to retake something, Cherise, I took calc, but I really want to take calc again. Well, I tell you not to, but I really want to take calc again. Then you could decline the AP credit or the dual enrollment credit and retake it if you really want to retake something, but that's not, I wouldn't suggest it. Little about business classes, learning communities. There we go. All right. Any last questions before I turn it over for next announcements? Oh, yes, I'll get to you in a second. So the question is, how will I know, like for sending in transcripts if I took them at a college? If everything is listed, then just send it one time. If you're done, if you're going to take a class right now when you get home, then wait until that class is over. Wait till August or whenever that class is over to send it in. You don't have to send in everything now. I have the nerve to have some seniors that owe me still a transcript that turn in the transcript in the 4th year. So there's no urgency to that. You just schedule around it in your mind. There was a question up here.
There's a assigned schedule that you're supposed to meet with your advisor at a certain time. That math test is also at the time that was assigned. How do you get around that?
You're the student who we messed up on. Just come on. We'll push your advisement appointment back. The test, you'll take the test at I think 1:15 or 1:30. Whenever the assigned time is, and then we'll just work you in later. So when everyone signed in, you got a packet of information, and that bright green obnoxious piece of paper is really important. or orange, I'm sorry, orange, that obnoxious orange piece of paper. It was either bright green or orange. I don't know what we decided to get everyone's attention. Okay, so that bright orange piece of paper has your like advising time, right? Let me see what the bright orange piece of paper has on it. I got too much going on. Okay. Okay, day one, academic advising. So that's what's going to happen after lunch. We'll have some announcements here. But everyone on day one is going to meet with that academic advisor. And then immediately following your session with your academic advisor, we're going to have, I call it the situation room, because the situation's going down. And students need to go put their schedules together. So all that stuff I was doing with looking up classes and that worksheet that's on the back of your pages with the days and times, we're going to have like a little working session right after your advising session with your advisor. We're going to have current students in there. We'll have some advisors in the Heider College of Business in there to help you. But basically, after you have that initial discussion with your faculty advisor, then you go and plan your schedule with looking at the classes and the days and times, okay? So the advisor meeting is just to say, hi, I'm Charisse, I'm from Los Angeles, I think I want to major in, or I'm Charisse and I'm lifeguarding this summer and I'm just excited to be here. That's all you got to know. Good attitude, that's all you got to bring. Oh, and what you got AP credit for, don't forget that. Okay, the last part down here, day two, that's important too because that is your registration day and time and PIN number. Of course, we'll have that when you get there if you forgot it. But we want you to show up day two, ready to register with some notes, right? Have your schedule filled out. Maybe you want to list all those CRNs, the course request numbers for the classes. Like I was looking up each class individually. You're going to do that stuff today so that come tomorrow, you're just going to enter like the CRN or the course request number to register for the classes. You cannot move your registration time. Thank you. So if you have a flight or if you got to get on the road to go home, you can register anywhere in the world. You don't have to be at Creighton. The reason why you came here today is to hear this wonderful overview, meet some friends, have some help from people like me who are advisors. But if you got to go to the airport, register from the airport. Kids are registering from a cafe in Spain here in a little bit, okay? So don't worry if you're not here, that's okay. Your registration pin and everything will work anywhere. It's not just, you don't have to just be here on campus. Okay, I'm going to turn it over for more announcements, and I'll be around, guys. Thanks.